Dawn Pellin is 26 years younger than Dave. She came to him for help and stayed on as his wife.
I've come to the conclusion you were right. The train is a bit shaky.
Now she divides her time between her studies at the Vancouver City College and training activators.
He usually comes home between 11 and 11:30 in the evening. The very first thing that he does after he kicks off his shoes is throw his jacket on the floor and then proceed to the fridge. So he makes himself a Dagwood sandwich or a 72 variety omelet, and he drinks about half a dozen bottles of pop. And at 1 o'clock he has another bottle of pop, and he retires to the living room and he watches the Late Show. And then he watches the Late Late Show. And then about 3:30 in the morning he takes a bath and he goes to bed. I know enough about the philosophy to know when I've got a problem.
Hello, Dave.
How are you?
I take it this is your wife? How do you do? Hey, Volkswagen vans up
The Pellins are in Chilliwack, where they've been invited to speak to an adult education group and arrange some lectures. It's an opportunity to explain the Activator philosophy and earn a little money.
I don't want to just tag along beside Dave on all these trips, but I want to be able to contribute to them. I don't want to be there and be given a little pat on the back because I'm Mrs. Dave Pellin. What I'd sort of like is to play the kind of a role that maybe Eleanor Roosevelt played, or something like that.
Are you just trying to get people back into the establishment?
No. I'm interested in getting them to understand themselves in relation to the establishment so that at least they know why they're not with it. At least they understand where they're going if it is not with the establishment.
This appears to be your purpose, to assist in this process of getting them back on the track, what the conventional school has been doing for years.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm afraid... Oh, sorry, Don.
What we're trying to do is in a preventative field, so that they never have to get to the point where they have to be brought back onto the track to society. We want to keep them, to get them before they get off the track.
No, but you don't understand this question. The big point is...
To bring them back on the
Yeah, the point is this. If the individual didn't question somebody that walks in and says, look, I have a new formulation of the philosophy of human behavior, and he'd take a look, I'm sure he'd take a look at you and say, you mean to tell me you got something new to add to psychiatry? You're going to tell me that after 50 years you've come up with something new? My answer is, no, I haven't come up with something new. I've come up with a different form of the same thing, but it's easily understood, and it's far easier to deal with.
Dave and I speak hand language, and I have a little signal that indicates that he's shouting, or when his shirt button's undone and his belly is exposed.
I very, very much question anybody that goes into human behavior going into it because he feels he wants to help people. The first feeling is you have something missing from you. I want this filled. Let's see.
And I can see them, you know, sort of sitting there, and their eyelids are beginning to droop, and so I have little signals for when to end something. He adheres very closely to my signals, and sometimes if he isn't aware of me, I just write him a little note.
Aware of it. You never look at me.
No.
I'm standing there like this.
No, what is it you wanted to tell me?
I'm trying to tell you to let them go home. They can't take that kind of concentration.
I guess
You're not a real bastard. It's just that, I guess I'm so vain that I can't stand not having you pay any attention. You know, but I'm standing there like this, like a dummy, and you're not paying any attention.
I looked at you twice, and I said
I
to you...
couldn't tell which eye you were looking at me with. And I'm going...
Oh, yes, that's terrific. That's one of my greatest assets.
H-O... And he's not paying any attention.
I looked at you and I asked you, what's the score?
Oh, you're so obvious. What do you want? You embarrass me and I make you look like you're henpecked.
So what? Am I living a life of worrying of what the people think? So I'm henpecked.
Okay.
What kind of education do you have, David? School.
You know how far I went to school?
Yeah.
Oh, about 9 blocks, sometimes 12.
Did you say 9 blocks?
Yeah, once I went 12 blocks to school.
You're being smart, Alex, again.
No, because I'm not going to tell you my education.
Why, are you ashamed of it?
No.
There's a man in this town who may have discovered the secret of the universe, the harmonics of the universe, and the mathematical pattern.
Mm-hmm.
He's got no education. But Buckminster Fuller said, I think this man has something.
Okay.
Right?
I have no education.
So now you're going to tell me a lie.
Oh, now, come. You're saying it, not me, Jack. It's not important.
It is important.
To whom?
Just to know the full Dave Pellin if he's got the secret.
But why is it important to know the full Dave Pellin?
Because in a critical, suspicious society.
No, in your critical, suspicious mind.
No, nonsense. I'm part of a critical, suspicious society.
Isn't it funny how we like to feel that the whole world is the same as us?
It doesn't matter if he's doing the job.
Oh, no, doing the job is a thing apart. It's a thing separately.
And isn't that what screws up our society is everybody wants to know what the guy was, and they're not interested in what he's doing.
I would say there's a certain measure of validity in your observation.
I only judge people on what they're doing and the results of what they're doing. Are they taking away hurt, or are they putting in hurt? And that's all I judge them by.
No! Steph.
Did you learn anything?
Yeah, I did. Learned quite a lot. Probably the first time in a couple of months I've sat down to talk with anybody and think at the same time.
Then the unit has been doing its work. It's been exercising your intelligence.
Right.
Pellin feels activators work best in the unit and in outside study groups, and that they can't do much good in institutions. But Pellin will talk to inmates if he's invited, as he has been today by Marion Hamilton and Bobby Joseph. Both activator students, they arranged this visit to the BC Penitentiary. To be a criminal is to be a wanted man, and men get a perverse satisfaction from that recognition. Pellin's theory is that people who have never learned to get recognition from positive behavior have to get it from negative behavior. Amongst the prisoners here, the Indians have formed what they call a self-betterment club. Pellin will give his lecture on recognition and satisfaction.
Some guy comes up to me and he says, boy, if I had $3,000, man, would I be satisfied. So he goes out and pulls a caper, and he gets $3,000. And for 3 or 4 days, he's around the whores, and he's around the poker table, and he's around the horse racing. Tell me, how much satisfaction is he getting out of it? If you can't stand your own recognition, how the hell can you live with yourself? But why can't he stand his own guts? It's because he's got nothing to contribute. What's he contributing with? I made a bloody nuisance of myself. To anybody that would give me the opportunity to develop a contribution that I could get the right kind of recognition for, I will kiss the boots of any teacher. But when I learn what he knows, I'm going to keep on going. And there's only one way to beat the white man. Only one way, beat him at his own game. You become the teachers. You become the artists. You become the working force. And don't dirty the name of the Indian by proving to the white man he hasn't got the guts to face himself. They also think this about any race. They thought it about the Jews too. You're not alone. Would you sign that so that I could say who's done it? Yes.
Mr. Pellin. I'd like to take my case, for instance, here. I was charged for attempted murder to start off with and reduced charge to wounding with intent. I've been 7 months in Ocala waiting trial to appeal.
Now, wait a minute. Just 1 minute. I have no jurisdiction. I can't change the law. There's no sense telling me about your case. But by the gods of war, you're not going to change all this. You'll never change all this. By continue hanging around the hurt, by continue being around the negative, by being around people. I had a young Indian girl come into my place, sit down. Every time he gets mad, every time he takes a punch at somebody, every time he spreads a little bit of hurt, his face calluses. He doesn't feel it, he doesn't know it. But people who see this callus say this, that kind of hurt I want no part of, so I'm standing back. And the only people you can walk with, the only people you can talk with, is the people with the same kind of a hurt as you have. And there's no sense of telling me that you can't.
Answer one question here yet. All you're talking about is hurt.
And that's all it amounts to, because you're hurt.
Oh, you got though. I never got a decent court.
No,
It has
but
to be. Not only me, all of us here.
But I can't do anything about that.
Well, you said you were.
But I can educate you so that that won't happen again.
Well, you haven't educated me yet.
Not in an hour, I can't. But I can tell you what. I've got you thinking.
Oh, I don't think so.
Well, then I failed. The only way you're going to get recognition, and the only way you're going to get satisfaction from the recognition, is if you have a contribution that the society or the people will accept. Now, if you want to argue this, you go ahead. But I didn't make this rule.
Now, why can't it be the other way around? Why can't you be accepted? And then you might be able to give a contribution.
I don't know why that is, but that's not the rule.
What about if us Indians refuse to accept you white man?
You better take a damn good look at that board.
I did. I told you about that.
That's
Until we
fine.
have a voice in Ottawa, we'll have recognition. Until then, we'll go on now.
You get recognition unless you deserve a voice. You only get what you deserve.
We should deserve it.
I don't want to leave this guy cut off. It's not fair. It is not necessary to dislike each other because I disagree. That's what makes a human being a human. If your contribution is worth making me feel a bigger and better man, I'll kiss your real moccasins. I'll kiss your rear end.
We'll be back.
All I did today is I went into the pen and made a lot of kids happy. If one of them can remember, or there's a possibility when they get out, they may think about this. If one of them turns out all right, it's worth it. But I'm not going to know.
Well,
Hi.
you want to know what's happening?
You wanted to see it.
That fellow down there, really.
People get to hear about the unit by word of mouth, but now and again, passers-by do drop in.
I guess you're inquisitive of what the place is all about, eh? Boy, if I were in your boots, so would I, believe me. There goes the phone again. Sit down, relax.
Thank you.
We try to activate people's intelligence in dealing with reality. We are against anything that changes the basic human being. We're thoroughly against all forms of intoxicants. What we want here is that our people that are searching haven't found something. And perhaps, just perhaps, we have.
The answer.
Well, not the answer, a answer.
Well, don't you think that everybody has a philosophy of some kind?
If everybody had a philosophy of some kind that was satisfying, we'd never have anybody walk in here. What do you do?
At the moment, I'm just existing. Well, the reason we came in here, or thought of coming in here in the first place, was to try to find a place to open a food co-op, because...
You know there is one on Cornwall?
A co-op? Oh, I didn't know that, did you? Whereabouts is it?
Cornwall and you.
Just down here. Well, that's sort of our goal right now.
Right.
Our space.
That's right.
Thanks a lot.
You're quite welcome.